Reddit by Reddit recap. What is that one trick that they really don't want you to know? Serious. The HR department at work is there to protect the company, not you. Be very wary of information disclosed to them. So true. I've only dealt with one HR person who was thoughtful and kind. Then, the company can't err. You don't have to do anything. Doing nothing is always an option. Learned that from my dad. Whenever I'd say, "Dad, you have to take me to the movies," or something, he'd look and say, "Only thing I have to do is stay back and die." I didn't understand it at the time. I mean, he was a pasty-white computer engineer. Makes perfect sense now though. Many stores have rules that prohibit employees from confronting someone they think to be a shoplifter. I've never shoplifted, but I had friends who took advantage of this. Don't do this, by the way. My friends eventually got arrested. Most of the dulling that occurs with cartridge razor blades is not a result of shaving, but rather water being left to evaporate on the blades. I've been using the same cartridge for the past 8 months by running the blades upwards, that is, opposite the direction you would when shaving, on a towel 15 times after rinsing it off, then blowing on it for a few seconds. 8 months later this blade still barely pulls at all. I have a small mason jar half filled with rubbing alcohol that I swish the blade in after I shave. That drives the water off the blades, and when I put the shaver down, the alcohol then evaporates. Didn't reach your record, but I had a blade cartridge last 5 months. When buying a car, negotiate the price of the car, not the monthly payment. People are usually more concerned with what the monthly payment will be and are often ripped off. It's easy to do the math with an interest calculator if you have a roundabout idea of what your rate will be. This is exactly why I wasn't a very good car salesman. I would get someone ready to buy a car and I would watch my manager piss away my commission, all the while ripping off the customer. Not really my idea of a win-win deal. Off-name and store name brands are not always cheaper. They, at least partially, rely on the misconception that brand name goods are way more expensive to sell things at a higher price. Always check the actual price tag, even if the store brand is on sale. Buying a car, always do negotiating via email or phone and bounce offers back and forth against competing dealers will always get you the best possible deal. This works. It will also probably make multiple salespeople miserable. Haha, my manager gave me so much shit if I had a customer doing this, as it was my fault for not being able to get them through the door. To be honest, he rarely would play ball, no quote over the phone or email. When he did, the customer usually got a great deal. Just keep trying different dealerships until one of them cracks. Oh, and be nice to your salesperson as you do, because they are probably having to go to bat for you like whoa. Another car buying tip. If you have USAA, use their car buying service. Super hassle free, and they consistently got the lower prices than anyone else no matter how much negotiating went on. Speed limits, many of them are arbitrarily set without an engineered speed study, and are unenforceable as a result. This is very state specific. If you get a ticket, print out your state's laws on setting speed limits. Many of them have maximum speed for different types of roads, and then require an engineered speed study for lower posted limits. If the posted limit was set without an engineered speed study, it may be unenforceable and you can argue this in court. Essentially, the agency posting the sign may have broken the law, and you broke their law, but only because they broke the higher law first. Then go to your local road agency governing that stretch of road, city, county, state transportation depth, etc., and file a public records request for the engineered speed study on that road. They'll have to respond in writing if they don't have one. Chances are they won't have one. Take the law and their admission they don't have one with you to court and show the judge that the speed limit is unenforceable and that you were driving a reasonable and prudent speed, regardless of what was arbitrarily posted. Source: I'm the engineer for the road depth that would do said speed studies, and we don't do them because then we'd have to raise the speed limits and the politicians don't want us to. The juror's right to nullify. It is our right to refuse unjust laws. So if I get selected for jury duty and don't want to go, I can just mention I know this and get sent home? No. Jury nullification is voting not guilty, even if the person is absolutely proven guilty of breaking that law because the law is unjust and should be nullified. Example: law is passed saying that all men are banned from peeing standing up. A man is charged with this crime and you're on the jury. They have video of said man peeing while standing in a public restroom no less. He's obviously guilty of breaking the law, but you feel that the law is unjust, and so you vote not guilty. Hopefully the majority of the jury follows suit. That's jury nullification. Economy size is not always the best cost per weight volume use. You will also find some stores that print the cost per weight volume in different units for different sizes. Same size packages by weight or count may have a different number of servings, so check that as well. Not a problem in the glorious EU. Price per kg displayed by law. You can file a complaint with the FCC if a telecom company jerks you around, and you'll get the results you should have to begin with. I used this when AT&T charged me local taxes fees for a state I hadn't set foot in for 14 months. I painstakingly crafted a Google Doc of every single penny and called them and asked for a refund. They told me that they can't refund taxes and that there was no one I could escalate to, and offered me a one-time refund of $25. I filed a complaint with the FCC and a few days later got a voicemail from our executive customer support asking for a call back. I didn't even bother and got another phone call where they told me they were calling about my letter to the FCC and refunded me every goddamn penny and fixed my account. If you bought something at a store and it goes on sale afterward but the store says they do not do price adjustments, buy another one and then return it using the original receipt. You can almost always get a better price for a hotel by going directly to that hotel's website. Expedia, Hotwire, etc. are kind of pointless. Also, you can't get a refund from those sites and you will get the worst room available. You are legally allowed to get a full refund for an airline ticket within 24 hours of purchase. Browse incognito to get past a paywall news website. Only works where you are allowed X articles per week. Incognito is the new stealing your neighbor's paper off his driveway and then throwing it in the trash. Bulk vinegar can replace a lot of cleaning products. I once lost the ticket I had received when parking my car at the airport. Upon leaving, I was told that without the ticket, they'd have to charge me for a full day, which was fine, since I'd been parked there for a week. You're probably using too much laundry detergent, shampoo, and toothpaste each time you use them. Mr. Clean Magic Erasers are just melamine sponges. You can buy them like 10 for $1 on eBay. You don't actually have to pay the asking price for entry in the Metropolitan Museum of Art in Make. They make it seem like it's the price of admission, but it's really just a suggested donation. They make more money than they need from wealthy donors. When you go to pay admission, just give them $1. Pressing 0 loads of times during an automated phone robot will put you through to human at customer services. Works for pretty much any company. It's been my experience that any automatic phone systems with voice recognition software will immediately forward you to a human agent if you swear into the phone. If you want to cancel your hotel room last minute, but there's a cancellation fee, call and change your reservation to a few weeks later. Then call later and cancel it. Call around midday to change. Give a legitimate sounding reason, meeting rescheduled, misremembered the flight date, etc. This will, hopefully, ensure the agent doesn't make a note in the internal only notes field. Call back to cancel at least 8 hours later. It's unlikely the hotel has agents on 8+ hour shifts. Source: I used to work at a hotel. Stay date changes are rare, even for my hotel, which was by O'Hare, and send up red flags. You want one employee to handle the change and another employee on another shift to handle the cancel. Hotels are notoriously awful at inter-shift communication. Chipotle doesn't care about you trying to rip them off. Yes, we all know that the bowl gives you more and you can get extra of whatever you want. If you're slightly more committed, you can get a free water and fill it with soda, even though they now have a sign on the machine explicitly warning against it. Chipotle doesn't give a single they know you're doing it, and it's been accounted for in the books somewhere. What they do know is that if they let you think you're being sneaky, and you, particularly broke college kids, think that you're gaming the system and coming out ahead, you'll keep coming back again and again, even with responsibly sourced ingredients. The biggest cost is labor, especially when 50% of the meal is rice, beans, and tortilla. You could get a burrito the size of a baby, and it wouldn't make a dent in the budget compared to what it costs to have 10 people cook and serve that stuff to you. In the US, if you are ever pursued for a debt, especially if you are taken to court over it, demand that they produce documentation verifying that you owe the debt and the amount. Quite often, they won't be able to and the case will be dismissed. Most debt collectors aren't the party you originally owed the money to, but rather companies that purchase debts in bulk for pennies on the dollar. Very often, all they have on you is your name on a spreadsheet and they are banking on the fact that you won't contest it. Please note that this only applies to third-party debt collectors, not people companies that you directly owe. So if the dentist contacts you about a past due balance, they are not covered by FDCPA. But if they hire a debt collection company to do so, the debt collection company would be bound by FDCPA. Best comment of the day. If a company is, out of the freaking blue, acting a bit off the wall in their social media pages, like taking a hard stance in a hot button topic, not just positioning themselves, which is common, but soapboxing and such, or posting very bad cringy memes. Nowadays, that's a bit of a feat, as they had bad experiences with unrelatable posts, then they are trying to get as much attention as possible. Even if they end up making complete asses of themselves, basically, they are trying to harness the power of the outrage culture to make the brand relevant. I suppose this is mostly harmless, but if you don't want to play their game, do like that Simpsons Treehouse of Horrors episode and just don't look. Just don't look. And by that, I mean don't comment the post, don't share it, don't retweet it, don't make a video response, don't meme it, unless it's really funny, and don't say the brand's name. They monitor the public's opinion and mentions. This will gradually discourage them from pulling such a move again.